Excuse me. I think I'm streaming. Yeah, it says I'm live. Right. So, oh shit. So, and of course my mouse is gone. Wait. So, hello YouTube! And welcome to, technically, my final live stream of 2020. Just before we get started, I'm going to enable live stream, live chat, and if anyone has any questions for me, I am happy to talk about it. I'm happy to answer them. And sorry in advance for the quality of the camera, because it's a shit camera that's in this iMac. But I can't live stream. If I could, I would try to live stream from my phone, but I can't because you need certain subscriber counts and all that now to be able to live stream from your phone, even though I could do that beforehand. Right. So, welcome to my real talk about 2020. Why does it say there's no data being sent? Really? Well, hold up a second. Should be... Oh, it says there's excellent connection now. Just want to show my channel. Hey, yeah. Let me load this. Time to load this video. Yep, got it up here. Just as like a little backup so I can see if there's any issues with it. Yeah, there ain't none. Right, alright. So, as I'm saying... Don't comment on that. 2020 was an okay year. We're not getting into analytics or anything major, because we should have 2 videos coming out. Yeah, tomorrow's video is my 2020 on YouTube, which if I look at it, if I go back and see what I actually was doing, and look back at the year for my channel, and the 30th is my New Year's goals for last year, or for this year, and if I achieve my goals from this year, for next year. So we won't get too much into any analytics by my channel, but this year, I mean, and I did do a little bit of a thing at the end of the video, but yeah. I might go into a little bit more in depth about 2021 in this video. I'm just talking about 2020 at the moment. Just so I don't really account about things And plus, I don't want to do gaming stream for my final stream of the year. So, over there, everyone. So, 2020 started off with me thinking I was going to go to E3 and PAX Australia and Tokyo Game Show. Yeah. Then the world went into lockdown. My TV shows were on hiatus. It's just everything happened this year. But I enjoyed the year. Honestly, I actually enjoyed the year compared to any other year, basically. I mean, ooh, that was a bit of a delay. And it is dropping frames. I might turn this up just a tiny bit. There should be a thing on the back for gain. Don't touch that, but yeah, that should be better. That should be good. Let me know in the chat at the might refresh it. Let me know in the chat if the audio is good. Test. If the audio is good. Test. Yep, the audio is good. So I'm gonna mute that, put that down. What? We do have a few other another video I have to do after this about my channel update, which I really don't want to get into at this point because most of that content is basically channel update. But yeah, looking back on 2020, for me personally, I had so much planned for this year, like going to E3, going to Tokyo Game Show, going to PAX Australia, going and all that. Doing all this extra stuff that I wanted to do. I had 2020 planned out and everything gets taken away because of the lockdown and international travel bans and like that, which is all good now. I mean, come on, we had to do all this, but I just I don't think it's the right thing to, like, I'm not doing anything wrong here. You're saying I don't. Well, I wanted to go over and like, I'll make it for 2022 or 2023 that we go to E3. Whenever the next E3 is, we go. When the borders open, we'll go. But before that, we cannot go. Next year, if Australia does open, if New Zealand does open up to Australia and allows us to go into that hotel quarantine, I might be able to go to New Zealand in November or later in the year. Might be able to, I'm not saying will, but might be able to. There's fly straight back to town. Oh, sorry, I'm just talking to myself. So yeah. If I can, I will try to go to New Zealand next year. Can't prove it like on a holiday, but it depends on how things are at the time. Like, if I can, like I can afford it, I will. Oh, excuse me. But at this point in time, I can't afford it. But yeah, 2020 has been um just not one of the years I recommend to any time travelers out there. Not saying there is any, but if there are, a warning: don't come back to 2020. You don't want to come back to 2000 to 2020. And to anyone else out there, yeah, 2020 has been a rough year for everyone. And I thank everyone for um, being a part of this year with me. I mean, without you guys as a community, probably wouldn't have had anything to do this year. You know. No, but seriously, without you guys, I wouldn't have had anything to do this year. And I would have been nah with all my stuff this year. I would have broken down, I would have felt lonely, I would have nah. And so on and so on. And I mean, 2020 was a rough year for me, honestly. But deep down, honestly, sorry about that, everyone. Let me just bring that up a little bit. Yeah, and honestly, 2020, I mean, I don't mind 2020 as a whole, but honestly, a lot of things could have been better for me. I mean, I didn't I did go as a person living in Coffs Harbour for that. 6 months. So far. One thing is, I'm moving down there permanently. I'm going back and I'm living there permanently. So, bye bye Townsville. I'll only be here for holidays. I'll only be here for holidays. Like Christmas and stuff like that. And I absolutely enjoy Coffs Harbourville. No. So I had to say that. But no, I don't enjoy it. But I like living there. I do, I like living in Coffs. There's just something about it that I like. Like this year has changed me. I like international traveling and all that, but we can do it this year. So moving out on my own basically changed me to liking living on my own. Sorry about that everyone, I'm not distracted. I did enjoy 2020. My 2020. Although, it could have been better. And I say that every year. If I hate it or not. And well, yes, I didn't hate it as much as I thought I would. It definitely wasn't something I'd want to go through again. Now, while I'm at it, I'll go through a little bit. This isn't my YouTube goals or anything for 2021. But I'll go over my personal stuff that I posted about this year. I did this back in 20th of October, so yeah. We'll start from point 2 because I'm going to skip some of the points if I don't when I talk about it. 2. Worst moment of 2020. When my father got put into hospital in April due to loss of about 7 liters of blood, according to doctors. He was in very bad shape, and the doctors were saying he could have died. He's that. We didn't know what was going on at the time. My best moment of 2020 My driving slash moving down to Coffs. My drive slash move down to Coffs Harbour felt like a holiday of sorts in a sense. What you wish 2021 would be like? A lot less death worldwide, and things starting to get back to normal. Yes, I'm wearing these now. What you hope to achieve in 2021? Yay, that's a good one. I hope to at least be able to get back into Queensland. Once that is achieved, I'll probably start saving to move over to Canada and nah, that's not happening. Well, no, I'm not moving to Canada. I just like to say, but most likely not now. What you rate 2020 overall so far? This was back in October, remember? I would rate it 1.5 out of 10, which is way worse than what I thought last year, because it is every year. That this year would be a score of 7.5 out of 10. Well, it would have been if we didn't go into lockdown and we didn't have this pandemic. But, yeah. What you can't wait for in 2021? To be able to go back to Townsville to see my family. As this past few months I've lived in Coffs, I've been really hard with the Queensland border being closed. I got back in the Queensland in December. Could have come back in November, but I decided to come back in December. Just for Christmas. What do you look forward to? What did you look forward to in 2020? And was it achieved? What I hope to achieve were a few things this year. First one, being going to E3. Second, being going to Tokyo Game Show. And then finally PAX Australia in Melbourne. Couldn't do any of it because of COVID. Which is a good thing because I didn't get anything. Or a global situation instead of COVID, because you're not allowed to say COVID. Sorry about skipping frames. Goals for 2021. To be able to get back in to be able to get back into Queensland and hope to get back to a normal way of living in the world. What? And the situation calms down in the world. Something you would say to yourself if you could do 2020 over again. This is interesting. Well, at the beginning of the year, you will see some of your TV shows end. Like Arrow, Steven Universe, The Good Place, and yeah, those three. This will make you sad, but don't worry, that's not the main thing this year. You shouldn't be planning to go overseas anytime this year. Don't get your hopes up for E3 this year because it ain't happening. And TGS isn't happening at all. So don't even think about it. I know it's PAX Australia in Melbourne. You'll be locked down in your house for a few months. Well, I was. Nothing unusual to what your normal, what you normally do anyway, but it will affect you a lot because your shows will be going on hiatus. And I'll finish the seasons. You will break down a few times this year, mentally. When your shows go on hiatus and you don't know when they will return, although it was only 2 to 3 weeks. And you'll break down when your father's in hospital. You won't get a normal life this year. This year will upheave your entire plans. You'll hear bad news quite often this year. But don't worry, your one home away from home, as in EB Games, won't be closing down this year. That's the one positive. That you can still get your video games to my YouTube channel. You might decide to move out on your own this year again. And I honestly recommend doing it because it's the only time you can feel like you're on a holiday. But believe me, it'll be tough to live away from your family for the time period you are, because the borders around the country close and the Premier of Queensland isn't budging on opening the border. Well, she wasn't at the time of writing. You end up meeting your best friend in person for the first time, so don't be worried about things when you do meet him, as things will go smoother than you think, and it did. This year will be a mixed bag for you, but you can get through it, and I did. I got through it. That's actually pretty good. Whoops. Advice for me. Now, where was I? Yeah, there's a lot of things here that, yeah, as I said, 2020 has been one of those years where a lot of people didn't manage the year, and a lot where people reconnected with a lot of their families, like close families, and all that sort of stuff. Like, yeah, it's just a lot. This year was just a lot for everyone, and I'm glad I was able to manage it, especially with change going on, because I don't know if you noticed, but I personally, because of a disability I have, yes, I am disabled. I don't like change. I technically don't like change. That's why I broke down 2 times. Early this year. because what I had planned for this year was gone. And yeah, big shock, I'm disabled. People probably already knew that. And I couldn't handle it. I couldn't handle the change this year. It's just too much stress on me. That's probably why I couldn't handle Perth as well. As well as I am with coughs. But I moved to coughs to get away from all the stress in Townsville that I was going through and just start fresh. And it worked out for me brilliantly. So I think having that little change that I decided, or that I decided myself without being thrust upon it, like with the pandemic and or my father going in the hospital and all that sort of stuff. I feel like I've managed 2020 pretty well. Probably the only year. So I think I'm going to continue on living in coughs permanently, and just because I enjoy it. I enjoy living on my own. Um, but yeah, I actually did enjoy 2020. Right, there's a bit of hair missing here. Really, I'm that bored. Thanks, Ben C82. Thanks. But I'm getting into that side of 2020 tomorrow in my premiere. I just didn't want to go over stuff that have already been over. But thanks for the sub. I mean, technically I've been on YouTube for 10 years this year. Well, I've been on YouTube for 10 years. As of September this year. That's when I uploaded my first video on my very first channel on YouTube. But technically, I've been using YouTube to watch videos for 11 years. And let me say, within those 10 years, oh boy, has YouTube gone to hell. Just personally. But I must say, I thank everyone for watching my content this year, liking my content, subscribing, choosing to stick through the year with me with my content that isn't really professional, and that sort of stuff. I mean, the YouTube community is where YouTube is where I spend most of my year, basically. But yeah. Okay, everyone. I'll see you all in my next video. Bye.